Alrighty. So I am using Cats Rule the Earth.
I know I saw that earlier in the week. I'm
Yeah.
using Tarot of the Divine.
Okay. Actually
I
has
want
that
cats
deck.
rule the earth. I went online and coveted it for a bit.
It's actually a really fun deck. It's very much a Rider-Waite deck.
A rider deck?
Yeah. But it's a fun deck.
Well, I looked at and then I looked at the wallpaper I want to get for my bathroom and had to toss a coin. Which do I want more?
Yeah.
I'm ordering the wallpaper for my bathroom because it has black cats on it.
Ah. Well, we have Janine, and Brandon. Hello. And we have our cousin Faye.
Hi,
And
Faye.
we have Shar
Mar.
and Tansy. And so far, that's all we have. So why don't we start? Oh, and Patty. Hi, Patty. So in order, Janine and Brandon, Faye, Shar, Patty.
Okay.
And Rachel.
Wait a second. I'm going to, you starting with Janine?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, and then I'll start posting to Facebook. Hello, everybody. Don't mind me, I'm freezing. So even though it's like -6 here, which is warm, and my house is warm, I've decided I'm cold. I'm channeling the dark winter. I am using the Divine deck, and Janine, we'll start with you. This is the Knight of Cups. Well, you know, one thing is cups are twofold. Cups talk about communication, and so do is it wands, D'Arcy? But cups swords. Cups talk about communication. They talk about the gifts received. The Knight talks about the beginning of a journey, the walking away from the burdens and the things of the past and moving forward. So you gotta let go. There's that song, Just Let Go or something. And you just gotta let it go. And that is easier said than done, but just let it go, honey. Let it go. And, perhaps communications.
Yes, we have a Tony Bright saying, come on down. So I think Ashley's taking care of them.
I'm suddenly thinking of Bob Parker, The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Come on down. You are the next contestant on Let's Zap the Guppies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon, for you. The Ace of Cups. Again, remember, both of you have things that you are going to receive, but you have to be open to these things. And aces as well. Talk about new beginnings. Talk about your strength. You know, if you look, you can see water pouring into a cup, right? I don't know if you've ever heard that expression, my cup runneth over. If you are willing to put aside the past and open yourselves to a brighter future, you will literally be able to say, my cup runneth over. Not with disaster. My cup runneth over means good things are coming your way.
Yep.
Off to you, D'Arcy, on The Price is Right.
Okay, so Faye, Shar, Patty, Rachel, Liam, Tammy, and Heather. So, Faye, hey, cuz, you have the Two of Pentacles, and I am using the deck Cats Rule the Earth. It's a cute deck. I love it. And the Two of Pentacles is balance because you've got Siamese twins there. But maybe you are having twins in the family. But also what it's about is earth. And, you know, like, yeah, there's a pentacle on the ground, but it's all about preparing the earth for the summer or spring planting and moving forward. But this is, to me, is about balance. It's about allowing your imagination to set loose, and whatever flows into you flows out of you as well. But it's a good feeling, Faye. It's more like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I do two things at once, or do I narrow it down to one? So I'm going to say maybe a little practicality, but the bulk of it is go with your instincts, follow your gut, and who knows what can happen. But I would say you may find yourself pulling in a lot of different directions, but nonetheless, it's going to work out.
Going
Okay.
in a lot of different directions says possibility.
Yeah. Shar is
Okay.
next. Hi, Shar.
Let me just turn down my phone that's making dingy noises. Hi,
Okay.
Shar. I hope that you had a really good week so far and that you are feeling a little better. By the way, D'Arcy, offer prayers for her sister's, for one of Shar's nieces who is struggling a bit health wise. I hope she's doing better.
Is
You
that the
know,
one that had the accident?
yeah.
Okay.
The Eight of Coins, hun. Coins means, for one thing, coins that tells me a great deal about yourself. You are in this for the long haul. You have all that strength, all that ability to weather anything. And I know you've weathered a lot, but you are coming into a time when you have natural gifts. And as we grow older, one of the beautiful things about women growing older, Shar, is we come into our gifts. The further away we are from our moons, the closer we are to the wisdom that the grandfathers and the grandmothers give us to know what is healing and what is not healing, not just for ourselves, but for the people that we love. So you have the ability to pass on healing. That doesn't mean everything will be 100% cured, but you can heal a lot with your hands. Practice small. I remember D'Arcy telling me something about hitting your hands together so that they almost spark.
Yep.
And rubbing them till they get warm, right, D'Arcy?
Yep.
And then you lay them on the spot that hurts or is afflicted. So maybe read up a little bit on that and practice it a little bit on yourself and then moving outward. This is your time.
Hi, Patty. Patty, you have the Hanged Man, which represents December, but it's also a little confusion, but it's also about play. You ever seen a cat chase a ball of yarn? It's hilarious. Try to get away from them. So, whatever it is you're being possessive of, I'm going to say here, maybe you need to pull those claws back a little and maybe allow it to run away for a bit and come back towards you. But it could also be about making a decision that you do not have to make the decision before December. You could wait the whole year to do it, or you could make it anytime between now and December. And part of it looks like it's an upside down yes. So I'm not sure that means it's a no, or whether or not the yes just isn't 100% solid. Okay, I'm not sure.
I like that.
Okay, Rachel is next. Hi, Rachel.
Rachel, whenever I see a card that talks about the 10 of something, my first thought is, okay, you've just about handled everything you can possibly handle, and you got the 10 of Wands. And I know it looks in some ways kind of ominous with a dead skull lying on the ground. But when you look at it like this, you think that you have given everything you've got to give, body, heart, and soul. And I've heard this expression that at the end of it, a person just feels like they're a bag of bones. But when you've reached that point that you've managed everything you possibly can, in you is this ability, if you look really close, to grow and turn into something different, something new and exciting, even someone or something better than where you were. So even though you might be looking like, oh my God, like, can one more thing stab me through the heart and pierce me? It isn't about that. It's more about look at what you're turning into. Something beautiful at the end of this journey. And it has been a long journey, but you're reaching the end of all those burdens. And from that comes beauty.
All right. Hi, Liam. Well, Liam, you have the Eight of Pentacles. And again, Pentacles are earth planting. But the Eight of Pentacles here is about craftsmanship. It's about putting everything together for your job so that you have all that paraphernalia at your fingertips. but it's knowing how to mix. Like if you were mixing chemicals, you know exactly what chemicals to mix and what chemicals not to mix. Because I know if you put bleach and ammonia together, you might as well be prepared to pass out. So,
So something we should know about you.
yeah, don't experiment with chemicals unless you know what you're doing. So, anyways, they're just basically saying you have the tools to make your trade work. So use them wisely, replenish them, and also to replenish your own knowledge. So education, keeping a journal, whatever of what you're doing, so you know how you did it last time with notes of did it work, did it did not work, and if that's the case, then you follow the next path to make sure it does work. All right, Tammy is next. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy. I hope you're doing well. Tammy, the 7 of coins. The 7 of coins in this particular deck talks about a good harvest. So, a good harvest. What entails a good harvest? It's about sacrifice. A good harvest is about sacrifice. You know, if you saw here, these people have lit this great big fire as part of a sacrifice. God knows what they're sacrificing here in the picture, but they're sacrificing because, like a good harvest, you sacrifice your time, your energy to achieve a goal. Say, buy a house, buy a car. You sacrifice some of the pleasures that you would normally do that aren't a necessity. And that's what that talks about is you have the ability to reach your dreams and even reach beyond what you think are your the boundaries of those dreams, but it requires sacrifice. And no, setting the house on fire, D'Arcy, is not sacrifice.
Yeah, I know that. But so, hi, Heather. You have the world, and I love the cat sitting on the world. It's like watching my cats. We have little balls on the floor, and they go over to them, they sit on them, and they beat the crap out of them with their hind legs. But this is saying that at your disposal, again, are the tools you need to direct you where you want to be. The world also says coming above any kind of situation and looking at it and maybe having to use a little hard love to make a point. And that's okay because sometimes we do have to use hard love to make a point. And so they're saying to be direct. Again, I'm going to say keep a journal so you can remember what you did one time. So the next time, if you have to do it again, you can. And they're also saying that there's some travel coming around you from there as well. And the pen is mightier than the sword. That is the other thing I want to say. And that's true. Sometimes we can be more effective writing out what we need to say than we are if we just blurt it. So in other words, if you're losing your cool, take a few minutes, write it out before you actually say it, because it's pretty hard to take back words.
Yes.
All right. Tony, I believe you've been taken care of, and it was very nice seeing you for a few minutes. Cynthia is next, then Ola, who is Janine. Oh no, we got another one, Ola. And then Nicola. And so Cynthia and then Nicola. Boy, we're getting popular again. We got guppies left, right, and center.
Cynthia, the 6 of Swords. What you see here are 2 people going in a raft down a set of rapids. And, you know, rapids are never fun. But what this talks about is the storm, going and riding the storm to the calm, right? Sometimes the only way we can get to that calm, quiet place is to ride out the storm. You know, we come to the calm of the what they call the eye of the storm in a hurricane, and then bang, you're in that storm and everything is, it's like the hurricane's just giving its last hurrah. But if you can ride that out, you come to calm waters and calm starts and new beginnings. And that's where you are. And you just have to have faith in yourself and in your ability to ride that storm. And if you get tousled a bit, don't kick yourself. Lots of people get tousled in the storm of life. It isn't how badly you get battered by it. It's how gracefully you can stand up afterwards, turn around and say, you know, a polite way of saying, go to hell, dance a little dance and say, ha, I win.
All right. So, Nicola, hi. You have 7 of Pentacles. And what I'm thinking about this is, how do you put in order what seems to be disorder? How do you figure out which is important and which is least important? Which one should I do first and which one should I leave to the end? And sometimes it's the ones we have to leave to the end in our organizational chart are the ones that should be done first. So if there are some projects or decisions around you, maybe write them out, put them in a jar, and then pull them out one at a time. And then lay them in order and then decide. 1 through 10 means starting at 1, working to 10. But would 10 actually be easier to do than the 1 right now? And if that's the case, that's what you're going to do. So organization, simplify the choice of what is easiest to do, and then work your way through it. And sometimes you may go 10, 5, 3, 8, 1, 7. You never know. So that's why I say always write them out first, name, date, count them, or put numbers on them, numerically number them, and then make a decision which is easier. Okay, Manuela is next. Hi, Manuela.
Hi. For you, honey, the devil. That's my washer telling me it's time to go downstairs. But the devil talks about 2 things. The first thing is, don't lie to yourself. We're really good at lying to ourselves. And when I say we're good at lying to ourselves, we tend to be people who, most people, we stand in the mirror and we only see the negative things about ourselves. We don't see anything good. And that is lying to ourselves, because we know that we are better than that little voice in the back of our heads. The other thing about the devil is, we're not talking about going to hell. This card doesn't mean cast you to hell. My God, if that was the case, we'd have a little table waiting for me with my closest friends and some playing cards, but let's not go there. What it says is, first trust yourself. Sometimes the lie we think people is telling us is something about ourselves we don't trust. So trust yourself first. Trust that intuition of yours. Don't go listening to the voices in the back of your head because you think they're telling you the truth. The truth is, you know who you are. And if you get a little confused and lost about that, that's okay. Grab that notebook D'Arcy is always talking about and write down 10 truths that you know about yourself. 10 really good things you know about yourself. Just 10. And I'll tell you what, when anyone is starting to knock you about and make some criticism of you that isn't constructive, literally chant those in your head. About a year ago, somebody told me I wasn't good at my job because I didn't have letters behind my name, and I didn't go to university, and I didn't get my CPA. I actually went to university. I just didn't finish the last year because of funding, right? And here I am starting to believe this person. And what I had to do is go back to my list. And one of the things on my professional list is, my auditors say that I'm really, really good at my job. That's the truth. Yes, the other stuff is a little bit of a truth, but most of it is a lie. And that is because there are people that want to take your confidence and your truth away from you. The devil says only you know the real truth. Hold on to that.
All right. Janine and Faye, you're both welcome. Heather, yes, there are lots of guppies on tonight, but then again, we're popular, you guys as well as us. So I'm going to say, maybe a little threatened on the other end of the guppies. And next is Marie, Carrie, Allison, and Shar says better now that they are safely at home. So
Okay.
Marie, to answer your question, her question is my love life, I think it's supposed to be, will my love life get better with Louis Rivia? Well, it could if you guys learn how to communicate and you're on the same page but allowed to be slightly different. It could. That's what this card says. Normally, this card represents celebration, marriage, reunion, that type of thing. But to answer your question, communication is what will hold you together, will be the glue to your foundation. If you don't have it, the answer is no. So, sorry, hope that helps. But yes, if you communicate, no, if you don't. Okay, Carrie is next. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. What's Carrie's last name?
McCandless.
Oh, I thought it might be one of the Carries I knew. Either way, hello, Carrie. Carrie, the moon. There are many things about the moon, but one of the things is usually people who draw this card are going through a bit of a confusing time. And part of that is your thoughts are scattered all over the place and you need to have a little bit of focus. You got to cut yourself some slack. We are all controlled by the moon. I recently read the coolest article. And basically, the sum of it is, whether we like it or not, we are a part of the stars. The very chemistry of our bodies is similar to the stars. Our bones had the same chemical basis as coral growing in an ocean. We are pulled by the water and pulled by the moon and the sun. So when you are feeling afflicted, think of it like the moon. You're going through a confusing time, and you know that you can power through this and find a way through if you just calm your thoughts. And the moon tends to instill a bit of chaos in a lot of people, especially new moons and full moons. They're very powerful. But just still your thoughts, concentrate on meditation. And although you think you're not going to get through this difficult task you're facing, you're not going to fail. It's just going to take a while.
All right. Hello, Ellison. I hope I said that right. You have the Ace of Pentacles. I swear I shuffled the cards, but it seems like I'm pulling pentacles tonight. So money, earth, seeds. But the Ace of Pentacles is new starts, new beginnings. It's allowing you to decide what direction you want to go in. Could be an offer of employment that gives a little bit more money, or you're finding another job, like an extra job that brings in a little bit money. It's also about organization of your money, and it's being frugal when you need to be, and to make sure that there is money for those rainy days. Okay, Shar, just let me have a look. Holly, Patty, you're welcome. Shar says thank you. Then Lisa, then Orville. Rachel says thank you. Hi, Orville. And awesome reading, Cynthia. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, so next is Holly.
Holly, I hope you're doing well. Holly, for you, the Two of Cups. This talks about perfect balance, perfect relationships. One of the things, by the way, I love about this deck is very universal and accepting. And I do love the way this deck is put together and how it's depicted. But when you see this, it talks about the perfect relationships, the perfect balance. And it sounds idyllic, but always remember that there's going to be rocky periods in that perfection. And maybe, just maybe, it's the rockiness of those periods that adds to the perfection, you know? So take it with a grain of salt. Know that you'll ride through this.
All right. Sure. Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Thank you about the hair.
Nice.
I forgot I bought this one, so I am going out to look for dye this color. We'll see what happens when we apply to the real hair. Anyways, Lisa, Six of Cups. 6 is about family. It's about community. It's about the people we treat as such. It's also about our community at work as well. And the cups represent emotions, but this is about coming together. So this could be a family reunion coming up on the future plan for you, but it could also be about a relationship that is slightly different, something you didn't expect. And when I say relationship, I want you to remember it's not dealing with partners. It can be, but it's also dealing about the people we have a relationship with. So you could be expanding a relationship. And I'm just saying to be open to the idea or concept that there's some interesting people and situations coming towards you. And I think you're able to handle whatever is dealt out. You have a strong personality and a love for life, as well as a flair for beauty. So I'm going to say congratulations on whatever's happening, because I really think it's going to be good for you. So Orville is next. Hi, Orville.
Orville. Ah, you can see Bailey coming up and down the stairs. Orville, I hope you're doing well. Hi, Miss Bay. For you, the 6 of Cups. In this particular deck, the 6 of Cups also talks about nostalgia, better times, looking back on the past with fondness. It equally talks about communication. It talks about a sense of community, a sense of belonging. Now, the thing about nostalgia is, remember that looking back on the past, we tend to wear, in a lot of cases, rose-colored glasses. So don't get stuck in the past. Thinking about that past relationship and how wonderful it was during the good times can be a double-edged sword, because it is in the past for a reason. And you have to remember that. But I also believe that this is a time for you to move forward, and that you can build new relationships with people, new friendships, and you might possibly be leaving the country within the next 6 to 12 weeks. I don't know why I want to say that, but there I do. So have a great day, and we'll chat later.
All right. Hello, Annalisa, and thank you for the hair as well. You have the 4 of Pentacles. Bright idea. That little epitome. Sorry. I have to stutter sometimes to get the word. But there's a bright idea coming up. And I'm going to say, if it costs money, you might want to reevaluate the cost of it to the bright idea. But the other thing about the 4 is part of your foundation. It's laying out the foundation of where you are now, so making sure you're stable, and then moving to the future with the foundation to find the other 4, so it becomes like the infinity sign. So what you start spreads out and comes back towards you. Everything's not going to be perfect. I'd love to say it is, but it's not. But the thing is, that's what makes life interesting, is if it was perfect, we'd be boring. So be open to the idea and concept that sometimes flaws are what make life perfect. And don't be afraid of flaws. Okay. Cynthia said thank you. Heather Ross, thank you. Our house has been very sick. My son spent some time in the hospital, just hoping for some return health. It is going to get there. Annalisa said, can you give me a reading on the man who I've been seeing for a long while? You'd have to give us a name, because it doesn't help. Carrie said thank you, and Lovey Cut Knife is next. So Annalisa, give us a name. Put it down below. Allison said thank you. So Lovey Cut Knife.
Yes, because the problem with not knowing a name is names have power.
Yes.
And you can say yes or no, but Lovely. Lovely, for you, the card is strength. Strength doesn't just talk about being strong. We tend to all want to be very, very strong, and we figure strong is being able to lift weights, being able to best somebody in a fight, intellectually, physically, emotionally. Sometimes strong is putting, that expression when the lion lays down with the lamb, and the lamb has strength. The lion equally has strength. Here's the lion laying down its perceived strength by the rest of the world and what we attach to that word, and laying down and being gentle and calm. you don't always have to be right. Even when you are, you don't have to be right. So when the strength card comes, it doesn't always mean be stronger. You're a strong and dynamic woman. It's okay not to always be right. It doesn't mean you failed or you're weak. It's just saying sometimes we can let the other person be right.
Right. Hi, Gloria. Gloria, I pulled the cards, and this is the first one I got, the death card. I love it because there's a picture inside the picture. But then I got the Two of Swords, and it was like they were stuck together. So I'm thinking you have a decision to make, which is going to change your world, and you may feel yourself pulled in different directions, and you're maybe sitting on the shore side thinking, what the heck have I done? But the truth is that the decision leads to your future, and the future leads to you being busier and maybe pulled in 100 different directions. But I feel that you're the type of person who can handle the idea that at times life may be smooth and quiet, and next thing you know, it's like a roller coaster up and down, and maybe a little shaky on the roller coaster if it's like the one that was at in Vancouver there, where it's the old wooden one and you can hear it creak and groan every time you go on it. So I'm thinking move forward with care and elegance. You have the grace to do it. And trust in what you decide, because sometimes it is true. Be careful of what you wish for, because you just might get it. But what happens if this time when you get it, it's just what you wanted? Why wait around and wonder? Just plug forward and see what happens. Okay, Alana is next. Hello, Alana. Lisa said, thank you. Orville said, awesome. Better get my teeth worked on sooner than later. Thank you, Penelope, and have a wonderful evening, Pen and D'Arcy. You too, Orville.
You too. Who's next?
Alana.
Alana, for you, the Empress. Alana, the Empress talks about relying on your spirituality and your faith. Faith in yourself and faith in others. The spirituality is connecting with your heritage, your culture, with who you are as a person, and believing that your spiritual connection is real. We all go through periods where we doubt that connection we have with the divine or the creator, or whatever it is you wish to call that which you believe in is greater than you. But you are coming into a time when tapping into your spirituality and your faith are very, very important. Grandma Beardsley, Granny Goodwood, she always used to say, faith can move mountains. And I'm told you need to remember that message. Faith can move mountains.
All right. So Lisa said, thank you. Orville said, awesome. Plus, he got his new passport with a proper date of birth. Yay. And then Annalisa said the gentleman's name. She said Fred, but changed it to Frederick. So I would tell you communication, again, another thing, setting your foundation, but having strength to endure whatever is placed in front of you. If you two have been dating for a while, there's definitely, for me, some sort of decision or communication skills that the two of you are going to have to use to come to a decision with. It has to be mutual. It can't be one outweighs the other. Okay, and Tamala. Hello, Tamala. Running behind tonight. Hope you are well.
Hi. Is Tamala mine or yours?
Tamala is yours.
Tamala, I pulled for you the Nine of Cups. Whoops. There we go. The Nine of Cups, Tamala, talks about unexpected happy endings. The achievement of a dream that you have had in the back burner. And now is the time to bring it forward. Now is to take that leap of faith. You know, guys, one of the people I follow on TikTok, and I do follow TikTok quite a bit some days and not so much others, But I follow a homesteader because I love learning how to do new things. And this woman with her family literally took a leap of faith and decided that that desire her whole life to be a homesteader and live on an acreage with chickens and all this stuff, it was time to realize it. And that's what this card talks about, that unexpected happy ending. When you're not exactly sure if what you're going to do is right, but in the end, it is exactly what you wanted to do. And it works out with a few ups and downs, but it works out good in the end.
Right.
Now's the time for change, Tamara.
Lovey, if you go back about 5 minutes, yes, Penelope did your reading
Yes, I did.
already. Next is Kalisha. I hope I said that right. Kalisha, you have the devil. And the devil isn't bad. As you can see, what it made me think of is the lion has eaten the lion trainer. That's what it made me think of. And it's saying that there's nothing that can hold you down. That if you're willing to break any chains that you feel bind you to a idea or concept that isn't resonating with you, then it's time to break those chains and move in the direction you want to be. Because you may be the lion or the lioness, but you're also the trainer at the same time. So consistency is perfection. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So next is Rochelle. Hi, Rochelle.
Rochelle, I picked for you or drew for you the Five of Swords. Oops, there we go. Now, the Five of Swords is actually a very powerful message in this deck. It says nothing won through deceitfulness is worth the victory. So it sounds, and no one's accusing you of having lied to win something. But what we do sometimes is we allow someone to win power over us by lying to them and saying, "Oh yes, you're smart. You were right. I was wrong." And I know that contradicts something I said earlier, but here's the thing: if we allow someone to belittle us so that we can keep a relationship, if we allow someone to hurt us emotionally, physically, spiritually, so that we can still say to the world, "Look at us, we're happy in love," that's a victory through deceitfulness. And it does not benefit you. So as hard as it might be to face some hard truths, this card in this particular deck also says, it is better to face the hard truths than to lie to yourself and others. And I don't know what that hard truth is, and it's probably going to be a bit of a challenge, but now's the time for you to face it. Oh, and if you can't face it alone, you get support from your friends, your family, and professional help.
All right. So Tamala says thank you. Rochelle, have you just read for Rochelle, right?
A while back, yes.
Okay. So Lovey, Tamala, Rochelle.
Did you read for?
Just a minute. I'm looking at names because I did Kalisha, you did Lovey, or Tamala.
Yeah, and we did Lovely.
Yeah, no, I know. So, okay, I've lost count. Rochelle, you have to tell me whether or not, yes, you read, Penelope just read for you. Alia. If I pronounce your name wrong, I am so sorry. You have the Five of Cups. Look at this. You got 2 cups in. Yes, she did get her message. Okay, so Alia, you have 5 cups. 3 of them you're knocking over to see if there's anything in them. It's like, yeah, maybe I don't need them after all, because if you turn around, you still have 2 cups in front of you. So this is a reflection of the past, looking at it, deciding what you need and you don't need anymore from your past, because as you all know, our past is what makes us who we are, good, bad, and ugly. And we can be all three in one. You get me on a day when I don't have enough food and I'm cranky, you don't want to be anywhere around me. But you get me on a day when I've jumped out of bed and I'm singing with the birds as I go through the house, like you see on Cinderella. Well, that's exactly what you're going to get. My daughter normally says, "Can you be quiet?" But what I'm looking at is the energy you put into your life is what you're going to get out of it. That's what that card is saying to me. You can wallow there in the past all you want, or you turn around and look at your future and say, you know what, that doesn't really help me anymore. Now it's time to make new things. So I'm saying release the old and look for the new. So we have Chelly, Chaley.
Okay.
And then Janessa, I think is how I pronounce that. And then Heather.
Okay.
So, you're next.
Okay, what was her name again?
Chelly, Chaley.
Hi, darling. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups says, look beyond the surface. And I think this has something to do with the relationship you want to establish with someone. Look beyond the surface. That expression is, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. I'm not saying look with suspicion. I'm saying take those rose-colored glasses off. And that's what that card says. Look beyond the surface. Trust what your intuition is saying. I've been married 3 times. It's a standing joke in our family. Although I'm nowhere near our parents, so we've still got a couple more marriages before I can get there. But one of the marriages, I remember standing on my wedding day going, whoa, stop, put the brakes on. And I swear to God, if the Justice of the Peace hadn't come, given me a little bit of a slap across the face, tell me to get my act together, I would have never married my second husband. Because I should have trusted my intuition because it looked too good to be true. And although he wasn't mean or vicious or anything like that, the marriage did not last very long, unfortunately. But the lesson I learned is listen to my intuition. Look beyond the surface. And that's the message for you. Look beyond the surface.
All right. Hi, Janessa. Now I'm going to guess because you guys all have the same last name. You're related.
Yes, they are.
Janessa, you have the moon. The moon's about the phases of our life, but this is also about going outside and doing a little meditation, talking to the stars, the universe, whatever you want to call it, and putting a plead out, basically, hey, look, I could use a little help in this area. Because sometimes if you don't tell universe what's going on, it's pretty hard for them to figure it out by themselves. You know, they are busy people. But the thing is that what I find is when I am upset, when I need a little clarity, I will go outside and stand under the stars and just look up until I get a little dizzy. And when I've gotten that little dizzy, it's almost like the information I need has filtered into me. So I'm going to say, if you're going to do it, 1, don't stand in the middle of the road, not advisable. And 2, maybe lean up against something, because I have been known to tip over. And no, I have not been drinking. And let universe help, because I really feel that we're all spiritual, we're all intuitive. It's whether or not we tap into it. And I really feel, Janessa, that you can do it. I think that you have that ability and you should be listening. Now, I'm also sort of getting the impression you should be listening to your culture as well, and maybe fine-tuning a few things around yourself to help bring in the message from spirit.
So before we go past, I actually have a message for Janessa.
Okay.
Sometimes, sweetheart, all it takes is a cup of tea and good conversation. So even if the person you want to visit, our grandmother used to say this, someone isn't here or you can't see them right away, you make a cup of tea for you and a cup of tea for them. Make the pot of tea and set the table with the cookies or the delights. Sit down, pour the cup of tea, and have the conversation because you're supposed to talk to someone and that's your message. Sometimes all it takes is a cup of tea and good conversation.
Mhm.
Lots of love, honey.
Heather is next.
Heather, decisions, decisions, decisions. The Four of Cups. You know, oops. One of these cups looks, wow, look how cool. There's a present in the cup. But you know something? You have to be careful and you can't keep all four cups. I know you want to keep all four cups. I personally would take the most empty cup, but you know, that's me. So choose a cup, choose even two, but know that you can't take a look afterwards and go, oh, I should have chosen this. We've made our choices when it comes to receiving blessings. And the blessing you decide not to take it might be a blessing that needs to be passed on to the next person. Nothing in these cups is disastrous at all. What's in these cups are gifts and blessings, but you don't get to keep them all. So take the blessing you think is best suited for you, say a prayer, look at it, think about it, and then without regret move forward and leave the other three cups for the next traveler on the road that comes looking for a blessing.
All right. Hi, Mark. Mark, when I pulled your cards, I pulled two. So I've pulled the Two of Cups, which is relationships, and the Chariot. So this is a relationship that is moving forward in another way. And it's interesting because I just saw the Chariot one where the cat looks like the chariot's lifting its hindquarters to help it to walk. But maybe it means don't pack too much baggage. Don't put too much baggage on the relationship as well. To take it in stride, to work in tandem with each other, not separate from each other. But
No.
it can also be a trip that is coming up for you, and that you both should pack your own weight. So don't pack the bags to 150 pounds. I mean, pack the bags in such a way that you're both carrying each other's weight. That's what I mean. Okay. So Heather, who you just read for, said, that's so relatable for me. Hard decisions. Okay, you'll get there. Then Jeanette is next.
Jeanette, you know what? Now is the time. Spring is almost here. You know, it's only 65 days away or something. Can you believe that? Spring. Like it's literally a whisper away.
That's your BC.
Hush. Regardless, the calendar, equinox, all of that says spring is 65 days away. I will forgive BC for having the weather they have. But the point is, don't get me sidetracked. For you, the Page of Coins. The Page of Coins in this particular deck talks about the anxious awaiting for spring and summer. Spring and summer. So what do? We clean our houses and we air out our grievances and we throw away the burden and the nonsense of the past and the winter. Fresh beginnings. Now, if you're in a relationship, and I really can't tell at the moment, but we'll say you're in a relationship, and for some reason I think this is important to say. That doesn't mean you kick out the husband or partner unless you don't want them. But it does mean that you have to clear out the garbage and the debris. Oh, and purge. I'm not sure what it is you're supposed to purge. And if that's supposed to be the husband or a previous relationship, purge them anyways. But I mean, what would I know about purging anyways? The point is, it's about new beginnings. Spring is coming. Start planning your garden, planning your space, and look forward to the fresh starts. And you can message me and tell me I'm wrong, and I don't mind. But for some reason, I had to make sure you understood. I wasn't saying get rid of your partnership.
Okay. So Marie's next. Just 1 second, Marie. Mark said, hit it the nail on the head. D'Arcy, thank you. And Rochelle said, you both astound me with your gifts every time. The readings are always so accurate. It's so generous of you both to gift your time to us all. Well, thank you, Rochelle, but we also feel that you guys are being generous by joining us.
Yes.
Marie, you have the Hierophant. And yeah, he's standing on a book. He's not exactly reading it, and he's got books to the side, but the candle's burning, saying, hey, are you wasting time? If you're going to study, you got to study. And if you're not going to study, then, and this looks like you're also looking up names, children's names. I'm going to sneeze. And
kissing time. Kissing time again.
And Marie, you have someone around you who used to smoke, and they're just trying to say hello. Sorry about the sneezing. And but this is a time for you to grow your knowledge base, because by growing your knowledge base, you're leading yourself into a totally new direction of life. So go for it. Grab it. Hold on to it and see where it takes you. Well, everyone, I'm going to thank you very much for joining us, because without you, there wouldn't be this show. Look very much forward to seeing you next week at the same time, 6:30 on Wednesday. That's 6:30 BC time. And, like I said, it's been really great seeing you again.
Yes. Thank you absolutely, everyone, for coming. You know how we feel about it. We wouldn't have a show without you. I apologize. I'm a little distracted. I have this puppy dog beside me that's demanding attention. I hope that you all continue to come and find purchase in what we offer. I want you to have a blessed evening, and I will leave you with my favorite expression. Anyone who knows me knows it by now. Masalama, go in light, and blessed be.
All right. And Jeanette says she hears you. She'll keep him, but she would appreciate the purge. And Lovely says, thank you. See you fully charged. Laughed out aloud. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And may love, joy, peace, happiness, and prosperity find you all in mysterious ways. And hopefully by next week, we'll see you again. Have a great night, everyone. Blessed be.